version 1.2, save. Look at that. Now that's rapid development right there. Now let's navigate to the docs endpoint. There we go. And just like that, we have a totally new page. Right. So let's just look at the documentation here. Okay, they're just providing us with how to build modern web applications here. And this provides the big picture of NextJS, which is providing the ability to build web pages up front, React web pages up front, so you can add them to search engine optimization and the likes without worrying about dynamic resolution. So you don't have to worry about server-side creation of pages not being indexed. You can create static web pages and dynamic web pages at the same time, which is superb. Correct, we got that right. Nice. I must say this interactive documentation is a big feature of Next.js, and I think more repositories should actually use these interactive documentation where we have polls and we have questions and multiple choice questions that we can click through and check answers for. I think it's quite cool. Now this gives a pain point of creating React apps from scratch and what Next.js brings to the party. So in a normal bare bone React app, you have to worry about the code that has to be bundled using a bundler like Webpack and transformed using a compiler. And you need to minify it. I don't know whether they mentioned it here. Minify it so it can be production ready. You might want to statically pre-render some pages, as I mentioned before. Next.js actually provides that functionality whereby at build time, at compile time, you're able to create pages. So search engine optimization and crawlers and robots can actually view that particular information in your web page if you want to rank up the SEO rankings. Overall, I think this is a great framework, great React.js framework that has great potential, and it's already being used quite a lot. That's one of the reasons why we're actually showcasing it now in our GitHub hot repositories series. Now let's create an example here, and then we're gonna paste the command that was provided to us. You have to have Node.js installed. Now that our sample application has been created, let's spin it up. Let's see what we have here. Current directory, Next.js blog, and then they say npm run dev. Okay, the server seems to be running. We're going to navigate to it. Awesome, there we go. Now that we have it running, let's see if we can edit it in real time, and let's see if the changes will reflect. Let's open it in code, Visual Studio Code that is. Now let's see how it looks. Let's go to pages, index.js. Awesome. Let's edit the index.js page. Save it. We're not going to restart the server. We're just going to refresh the web page. We didn't even have to refresh. The new fast refresh feature that they just added, by the way, just refreshed. That's awesome. Let's look at this side by side. Say 1, save. Oh, there we go. Version 1.2, save. Look at that. Now that's rapid development right there. Nice. Let's just view the pages source. The import here, next head, actually injects metadata information and some other information to our web pages. Okay, let's attempt adding a page. Just going to add a new subfolder here, docs, and in docs I'm going to add a new file, index.js. We're going to copy the contents of another page, and this should work. Let's just change a few things. Docs, right. Let's save this and navigate to it. Now let's navigate to the docs endpoint. There we go. And just like that, we have a totally new page. Oh, this is awesome, man. This is awesome. Felt so simple, eh? Okay, let's get a doc by ID. This is the syntax, and then the JS file, and the ID will be fed in as a parameter. Let's use the index pages code. Paste it here and reference the ID. Docs rule, especially dog ID. There we go. Now we're able to retrieve our query parameters here. Let's test the string. Perfect. It works as well. Askers. Perfect. Now if we go to our page, you'll see the title here is top 10 Haskell's dog breeds, which is great for search engine optimization. Now if we view the source, you'll see that the Haskell's is omitted here. Let's see if we can resolve that. Now what we can do in our getStaticProps method, which is used to actually send through data to our default method here. So it's used to get data here. What we can do, and to add to resolve the breed property, is to read some data from a database and then from there filter by params. So params will have ID that we set from our browser URL query, in this case an ID, and then we're going to search the database for that particular ID and then return that particular record. After the record is returned, we just need to tell Next all the available endpoints that we need for our static content. We put that code in here, so we are only aware of index 1 and index 2. Let's see what will happen if we try to access index 3. As we can see, index 3 is not found. If we try index 2 that we've already set up, this works perfectly. It says top 10 shepherd dog breeds, especially dog breed shepherd. But if your web app has a lot of changing content and new content, you don't want to be keeping paths for each and every page, especially things like dynamic blogs and public forums. So what you need to do there is change the configuration. So instead of getting static paths and getting static props, we're just going to change the static props to server-side props and comment the paths, because we cannot be maintaining a growing number of dynamic paths. So that's about it. The code remains the same. Let's save this. Go back to our page. Everything's still working. Haskell's, perfect. Let's try 3 now. It's not found. That's actually expected. Let's add a null check here and add a null check here as well. Awesome. So yeah, go check it out and use it. It looks good. Looks very promising.